Yeah, till July sounds like a bunch of bullshit. I'm sorry. But, like, it's a virus. I get it. Like, I respect it. But at the same time, like, even if everybody gets it, like, yeah, people are gonna die. It's just terrible. But, like, inevitable? I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't be doing this right now.
Hey everyone. So today I have a video on some drama that I noticed very early this morning. It was trending on Twitter and everybody was so outraged over it, and it's kind of a lowbrow thing, but Vanessa Hudgens was trending. And this was because she uploaded a video to Instagram where she said just the most horrifically offensive, terrible things. Things that were just so inconceivably terrible that literally every single blue checkmark and their sister had to just weigh in and talk about how just disgraceful and horrible, and this is like the worst thing that's ever happened on Twitter. How dare she? Vanessa Hudgens is canceled. Her career is over. Blah, blah, blah. Just all of this just bullshit moralizing from a bunch of people, like pretending that they expect a 31-year-old actress and like former singer to be some like a paragon of wisdom, right? The fact that she just kind of is casually streaming to her fans and like says something off the cuff and it's kind of dumb. Like, we can't just let that go. No, we had to do the whole fucking cancel thing because we're all so offended and so fucking, I don't know, on edge over just retarded bullshit. So you might remember, I looked this up because I thought this had happened last fall. It actually happened in, like, May, the whole James Charles drama.
Hi, sisters.
Remember James Charles? Remember that? You know, where there was this big bullshit controversy, and it turned out the whole thing was completely made-up bullshit by that woman who just, like, got away with being a lying sack of shit. Not that I care about James Charles, like, that, he annoys the shit out of me, but whatever. That's not the point. The point is, we all had this big kumbaya moment where everyone's like, oh, cancel culture's canceled. Let's stop doing this. Let's stop being so offended. Let's treat people like people and try to look at context and try to be more understanding. And, you know, rather than condemning people, we can reach out to them and we can talk about real issues. And that way we won't have this whole silencing effect and free speech and everything, blah, 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 right? Everybody became this, like, tolerant free speech warrior. We're gonna not cancel people. We're gonna be more understanding and we're gonna be more kind. Yeah, well, everybody fucking forgot, right? It's less than a year later. It's like 10 months later and nope, here we are again. Same bullshit. You know, it's like it never even happened. Which is funny because I learned actually in the research I did for this video, this academic video that I did much research to put together so I can speak with some authority here. James Charles had a whole nother scandal back in January where I guess he was singing a song that had the N-word in it, and he claims that he skipped the N-word, and it wasn't even a hard R N-word, but people were so offended over it that, like, they made a big hashtag about canceling James Charles, like, all over again. So literally no one's learned a goddamn thing. It's, like, completely fucking stupid. Everybody's memory is, like, 5 seconds long. So here you have all these people who literally forgot about, oh yeah, we're gonna not do cancel culture anymore. Cancel culture is canceled, right? I'm for free speech. I'm for people being able to talk. I'm for people being allowed to just, like, God forbid someone says something dumb on the internet. Who could ever conceive of a world like that? How could life go on if people say dumb shit on the internet, right? No, we gotta clutch our pearls every goddamn second. So the same people who forgot about let's cancel culture think that we're not going to forget about this super lame, toothless Vanessa Hudgens controversy. So I was going to make a video about it because I figured we'll just, you know, this would be a quick, easy thing to throw together or whatever. But I decided to go to sleep and just take a nap. And of course, I woke up to the article saying, oh, look, she's already apologized.
Hey guys, so yesterday I did an Instagram live and I realized today that some of my comments are being taken out of context. It's a crazy time. It's a crazy, crazy time, and I am at home and in lockdown, and that's what I hope you guys are doing too, in full quarantine and staying safe and sane. Yeah, I don't take the situation lightly by any means. I am home. So stay inside, y'all.
It is kind of a non-apology apology, but I'm okay with that because I've got a hot take here. I'm not just going to subject you to commentary on frivolous, low IQ celebrity bullshit unless I have a take on it that's a little bit transgressive or a little bit different. Which is that I'm going to white knight for Vanessa Hudgens here because I don't think she did anything wrong. I don't think she should apologize. I think that everybody losing their shit over it is a fucking retard, basically. I think they need a goddamn reality check that, yeah, it's the internet. People say dumb things. Especially celebrities, like actresses and actors. They're known for being dumb. It's like a part of the shtick. So I don't understand where the outrage is. Like, it'd be one thing if it was somebody with, like, some level of authority to speak on the issue saying something dumb, right? Because you have an expectation there. But what's your fucking expectation for an actress that we all forgot about anyway? And by the way, for those of you wondering, oh, who is this bitch? I looked over her Wikipedia, and the most important things about her is she dated Zac Efron, and she was in the movie 13. 13 is a very good movie. She wasn't one of the main bitches in it. She was like a supporting character, but you know, that's a great movie. Good on her. And of course, she's a High School Musical, so people know her from. She had 2 albums in like 2006 and 2008. She had a couple of nude photo leaks, which were like private photos. So that's kind of shitty that someone did that to her. So that's too bad, but that's all in the past. That shit's nearly 10 years old. One really interesting aspect of her apology is she claimed this is taken out of context, right? So it wasn't really like, oh, I disavow what I said, you know, I wasn't thinking straight, I should have said this, blah, blah, blah. Like, it was more of like, oh, you didn't understand what I was trying to say, right? Now, the interesting thing about this is a lot of people are calling that out as bullshit. They're saying, what context could this possibly have? But when I first saw the clip, I might be reading too far into it. It's highly speculative, but I could kind of see where she was coming from in a way. But she wasn't articulating it very well because I don't think she was sure what point she was trying to make, because that's the way you speak oftentimes when you're speaking kind of stream of consciousness live to an audience in a casual setting like on Instagram. Like you just kind of let thoughts come out, and she wasn't sure what conclusion she was working to as she was saying it. And the most charitable explanation I can give that I think that she just failed to articulate is that like normally when you have like a big tragedy, if you can pin it on some sort of intentional thing, then you have grounds for like an outrage towards it, right? Like some agent did a bad thing, you condemn the agent, right? But when it's like a pandemic or a disease or a virus, it's like a force of nature or like a tornado or an earthquake, right? When there's no clear agent, the agent is just nature in reality itself, there's almost like nothing to blame. And there's a sense, broadly speaking, of kind of accepting nature and accepting that disasters happen. And I think that's part of where she was coming from, is that she doesn't feel that sort of zealous outrage at the situation because it feels like a natural phenomenon. And obviously there's aspects of it that are debatable, but that was kind of what I saw her building to in her argument. Others take a less charitable interpretation, which is that she'd rather just see a bunch of people die so that she can go on with her life. But even from that perspective, I think that people really downplay the negative effects on the economy. And I know that this is a trope. A lot of people are criticizing libertarians and free market conservatives all the time by saying, oh no, how dare you talk about money when we're talking about lives at stake? And the major disconnect is that people don't realize that money is people's lives. Like, when the economy tanks, when we have these horrible economic outcomes, that means less food in people's mouths. Like, that does result in death also. And I think it's very obvious that the consequences of the reaction to this, specifically what the Fed is doing by pumping trillions of dollars into the economy, lowering the interest rates to 0%, ushering QE5, which hypocritically they don't want to call it that. It's such a good thing, but they don't want to call it that. Peter Schiff did like an excellent video just like 12 hours ago on this that I highly recommend, and I'll link it in the description because I don't link videos in the description often enough, I don't think. But anyway, when we like everybody's poo-pooing globalization, right? Because they're saying, oh, we're not able to close our borders because of the supply chains, and that's going to cause more issues. And if we were more self-sufficient, then we could produce everything in-house and we'd have this ability. And the nationalists are kind of, using this as a rallying cry. And there's nothing to that. We could have more robust, more self-sufficient nations under free market capitalism. But of course, the reason we have this sort of globalism is because we have so many socialist policies in play, particularly in the West, which is what causes other nations in the third world to be more productive and for us to therefore outsource to their labor. So, it's socialism causing problems of socialism, and then we think that the nationalism combined with the socialism is somehow going to fix everything. It's just completely retarded. But, there is an aspect of, like, all things being known, hindsight being 2020, there is a serious debate between what's the better method, trying to do a perfect containment or accepting the inevitable and then playing a more long-term game. And the only correct answer is that you don't know. Anybody claiming with like complete ethical authority on what the absolute best thing to do in an unprecedented situation is I think kind of jumping the gun. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say is, I'm going to be reading a lot of these reactions and mocking these people. And, what do you think? Do you think that, that I'm wrong to kind of white knight for her a little bit? Do you think this outrage is justified? Do you think that we should take this idea of erasing cancel culture more seriously? And if not, what are the parameters for it? What's the bar we ought to set for saying that it's appropriate to quote-unquote cancel someone, and does this meet that test? I guess those are some of the, dare I say, deeper questions that I think people should be asking about this, rather than just like, I don't know, getting like that like temporary dopamine rush of condemning someone and then bullying them into a fake apology. Like, does anyone feel fulfilled or happy about that? I don't know. That's all. Everybody have a nice day.
Hey Vanessa, won't you dance with me? Hey Vanessa, tell me what's on your mind. Hey Vanessa, you drive me crazy like that. Hey Vanessa, won't you...
What a horrible and heartless message for you to share with the younger people who look up to you, at Vanessa Hudgens. This guy, Yashar Ali, apparently he does this a lot. I didn't look into this claim, so that might be bullshit, but apparently he's like really into exposing dumb things celebrities say and then canceling them, which I guess that's worthy of a journalist, because we all know journalists tend to be great people or whatever. Blair responded to this saying, "There goes her career, to be honest. People aren't to forget this." Which I guess is like the least dumb, like because she doesn't seem to have like all this outrage, but I mean, at the same time, she's kind of just going along with it, which is disappointing, Blair. I'm disappointed, but yeah, we'll see if people don't just magically forget it the way that they forget all the celebrity drama. We'll see how well this ages. Pierce Morgan says, "This is so repellent." Some blue checkmark lady says, "What a completely dangerous and selfish message to send out to your young, impressionable fans. Not cool, Hudgens. Not cool and pretty fucking stupid." Dear Vanessa, I know this doesn't like bother you, but like the problem is you like not taking it seriously could like kill other people like way smarter than you, and that would be super sad. Hashtag don't be a spreader. Which I just included this because it's a totally bizarre and hyperbolic take. And this dude named Keith weighing in, "This will haunt her for the rest of her life. To laugh at this unthinkable tragedy with an almost unimaginable scale of suffering. Unconscionable." Which, bravo, congrats to the man for giving us like the most histrionic and over-the-top reaction. Okay, that's all. Bye.